From Senegal to Sugar Hill, trace the bloodline. 100 years of brilliance through the color line. They thought the shackles broke but kept the mental chain. Langston penned the future while they legislated pain. Harlem's ballrooms birthed the cosmos in mahogany, while lynching trees still decorated southern botany. Josephine, Waker's pearls, and Garvey's Navy ships. Du Bois debating destiny with scholarship on his lips. The Renaissance was a renaissance, it was resistance, fam. Every trumpet blast from Armstrong was a battering ram. They gave us minstrel shows, we gave them Sora Neal. Turned depression into art, made the fabricated real. Cotton Club excluded us from tables every set. To form the Deanest Nightly, never free from the debt. But Bessie Smith could shatter glass, shatter cash, shatter lies. Every note she sang contained a revolution in the sky. Build temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turned the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double. The inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from. Fast forward through the decades, watch the pattern reassemble. Malcolm's speeches, Martin's marches, every voice begins to tremble to the earth until the structure shows its fractures. FBI was tracking every coon with every pastor, every actor. 40 acres never came but 40 minutes on a stage. To reconvene your consciousness and channelize the rage. From bebop to hip-hop, the fool lines mathematical. Each generation weaponized the beautiful, the radical. They gave us Reagan, now there's crack and mass incarceration. We gave them Public Enemy and blueprints for liberation. The Harlem Renaissance never ended, just evolved its form. Every freestyle cipher is a brainstorm, is a storm. Where the children of the talented, the tenth that was prophesied, inherit the fire that the water couldn't wash aside. They tried to write us out the narrative. We offered all on text, 100 years of proof, and that we're destined. Where was next? Temples from the rubble, made cathedrals from the struggle. Turned the largest to the center, now they study what we scribble. We built temples from the rubble, every generation double. The inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from.
Now, can you hear me? Nothing? I don't know what that is. You got me? Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Oh, hell. That's not good. That is not good. I don't like Mac for that. All right, but here we are, and there you are. Here I am, and there you are. Happy Monday to everybody, man. Grand Rising. I was saying that my Friday, Saturday, Sunday with the wife, man, was splendid. You know, we had a good time. You know, we sat at home for the most part, you know, and just enjoyed each other's company. Saturday, I end up, doing some interviews with one of our sisters, Cinda, and this sister's tightly wrapped. You know, she gave me a lot of information and feedback regarding brothers, you know, and that was our thing. She and I we had always decided to get together and have a discussion about brothers' roles in the community, not just in the community, but in the family as well. How we interact with not just each other, but our children, sons and daughters, and the wife, or your significant other. I learned a lot from her. I learned that, just based on, what we discussed, how I was going about dealing with relationships in my family and how I was kind of at fault for a lot of miscommunications and not, dealing with individuals in the family on that platform, in that respect, individually, trying to or getting to the point where I can understand what other individuals are going through in our family. You know what I mean? So her lacing me, man, it did a lot for me. Actually, it helped me to understand or overstand what it is I must do to create this atmosphere here in our home, with family, so that we are all on the same page. I was, what's the word for it? I was schooled or laced in regards to dealing with everybody differently. You know what I mean? So yeah, there is a set of rules and structure here at our home. However, each individual in here also has a certain thinking or mindset. We all can't receive the same information, you know, uh, like everybody else. We're going to receive shit differently. We're wired differently in a lot of respects. Her lacing me or informing me of that, in that aspect, it kind of opened the door. It opened my eyes to, okay, how I should deal with or interact with those under my roof or our roof, in spite of the fact that, yeah, man, this house is for our family. This home is for our family. And there are rules here. However, we want our family to understand that this is a safe place. This is a calm place. This is a place where they can come and, have input, or be able to express themselves without feeling as though no one's hearing them. You know what I mean? I wouldn't treat my sons and daughters all the same, right? I mean, that's a given. We shouldn't, because they aren't all, in that mindset like that or wired like that. So we have to deal with each and every one of them individually. We have to understand their needs, and their wiring, so that we can communicate better and make sure that there is an atmosphere here for everybody to thrive in. So I appreciate her time sitting down with me, and again, showing me where I can improve, not just as the head of the household, or the father in the household, but as a family member, you know what I mean? In the sense that our communication is open, and I'm not pressing the line just because I'm in a position to press the line. So her lacing me, man, it did a great deal for me, I have to say. And since then I've been getting at family members differently. Whether or not they see it is not a concern, just as long as I continue to stay on course, have that continuity in terms of how I interact with each and every one of them separately. That's my work, and that's something I'm on. So that being said, yeah, Shout out to Cinder Man. Yeah, Cinder Man, this is a good sister. I can't wait to have her back and to chop it up. We discuss again Black men and their roles, responsibilities, their accountability in not just the household but the community. Great conversation. Next time we meet up, we're going to talk or discuss the Black women in the family, in the household, in the home, as well as in the community. I'm one that I don't get into the habit of discussing sisters without a sister present, especially a sister not just of authority, but of knowledge, and understanding. So that's that's one of my principles. I can't wait to get her to have that discussion because I think that discussion is needed, but more so from the mouth of a woman. So if there are any sisters who watch this channel and really take to heart a lot of what's being said, I think it's a good step or a good look to hear whatever is going to be discussed coming from the mouth and mind, soul of a Black woman. That is. All right. Again, the weekend is good, man. It was good. There's a lot going on in the world, as we all know. Hey, man, this shit is real. And I tell you what, I'm gonna say it like this because I think this need to be said just as I'm gonna say it. We've been talking about this for months and months and months, for more than a year. What we're seeing take place now is actually happening. I mean, well, what we're seeing take place is something we spoke on more than a year ago. And here it is. It's happening. It's happening. What that I think involves is how we see society first. No, how we see ourselves first, because I think that's the basis of all this. How we identify ourselves as a people. Not only that, but how we are or not unified in terms of dealing with society. We aren't going to be able to deal with nothing coming down the pipes at us if we aren't together. All right. We're in a situation now where a demographic thought that it was wise to challenge us to take lives of our people. And this is ongoing. This isn't one of these things that happen once. This is a continuous theme with other demographics when it comes to us and our children, our women, our men. We're under attack, and not just from the white tea people. We have to get it in our heads that we are the most despised, hated, denigrated people on the planet. For what? A lot of us don't know, but we can say, hey, because that is the white supremacist way of thinking. And as a result, all those who want to be accepted by, white supremacy, they go in line or they act in accordance to what white supremacy put out, especially about us. They want to be in, not realizing that is, that's not in the script either. You know what I mean? But they use white supremacy, use other demographics to continue to attack us and put us or paint us in the light as uncivilized, savages, animals, whole lot of other, pronouns and, just negative, connotations or labels, about Black people. We know this. We've been knowing about the Asian community, and it not in the last 10 years, but for decades. I heard someone saying, well, not all Asians are like this. They're cool with customers. Yeah, but you can't listen. This is what they fail to realize. If you do that to one of us, you'll do that to all of us. And that has been the situation. You can't separate us in that respect, Now, for those of us who have seen this shit play out and have allowed it, you're wrong. We're wrong. Anytime we see a mistreatment, disrespect, or hatred projected or sent out or against a Black person, that is the same. That is you being hated, being rejected, being disparaged, the whole nine. That is you. Those are your people. We're wired, man, in such a way to where we're so indoctrinated against ourselves that a lot of times we do not understand how we're supposed to act when we see these types of behaviors portrayed or used against our people. When they take a life of a Black person and then have no remorse about it, that should tell us something. All right. So it's taken all this for this to come to a head. I think that everything happens for a reason, man. Everything. The fact of the matter, though, is, yeah, it's happening for a reason, but it's on us. It's incumbent on us to figure out what that is. Me, I say this happened because it is our time to wake up. It is our time not to just act out, but to now have an idea, a platform, not a platform, but a program, a plan to bring ourselves up, to inspire each and every one of us to now get into this life or society on our own merit. We don't need nobody else. We've always had everything we need, and that has been each other. A lot of us, again, we so indoctrinated, we don't see that. We're just like these other demographics. We see who's in power, and we want to be on that team. Not realizing, though, that team has one team. If you don't fit the description of that team, you're not a team member. You're not a part of that team. We don't get that. Not just us as Black people, but all other demographics. Even some white people don't get that they're not even on the white team, you know. But in order for us to do what we have to do, we have to first acknowledge that we are all we have. We have to get over what issues and beefs we have in these streets or in politics, in celebrity, in sports, you know, or just opinion and ideology and religion. We have to get over all that, man. All that has to be put on the back burner so we can address what's cooking on the front, on the stove, man, right now. That is, man, it boils down to this, man. It ain't just hatred. It's about the destruction of us. It's about wiping us out, man. It's about making sure that we're in a position where we have no position. We have to depend on everybody for everything. That's not a good place to be, especially for us as a people. We ought to know better. We know, for the most part, our history. But for the most part, we don't know our identity in such a way to where we are able to combat all this evil and this hatred, this discrimination, this oppression, all this shit that's being thrown at us by everybody. We don't know that enough to fight back in terms of, okay, man, we're going to repel all that. And we're going to only be able to do that when we come together. We have to come together. We are in a position now to do exactly that. This shit did not happen for no reason. For those of you who trust in the Godhead, you know, the forces, the powers that be, and I ain't talking about people, we're talking about certain energies and entities, you know what I mean? Then this is that saying, here's your opportunity. I'm presenting this for you to come together and do what you have to do to bring yourselves up out of this situation. Call it bondage, call it oppression, call it whatever the hell you want to call it. But try to understand and relate to the fact that something is being said to us in order for us to get it together. We're in those times. We are in those times, literally and figuratively. We're in those times. Everyone is against us. Everyone. And I was saying a minute ago, it can't just be, oh, well, you know, this segment of the community is, or, you know, no, man, it's their whole, all of them. Even those who aren't, but say nothing, they are. They support it. They're complicit in it. If a house exists and in that house there exists racism or anti-blackness or hatred for blacks, then at some point or another, if there's someone in that house who don't think like that, they will be affected by this disease. I'm only saying and suggesting that, okay, man, yeah, let's recognize that, okay, it may not be everybody, but it's the community. It's the community. I don't care what percentage of it is in their community. Therefore, we have to deal with that community just like that. Okay, we have to cut you all off until such a time where we have our shit together. You know, when we got our shit together, then we can met out and decide what we're going to do or how we're going to do it with other demographics. But until then, there could be no passes for anybody in any demographic, whether they're openly or overtly racist, anti-black, or oppressive, wanting to be oppressive towards us. That shouldn't matter. What matters is we getting our shit together and recognizing that we are in this fight by ourselves. We are all we got, you know? So that goes to what we're seeing taking place in this country today. And it's astounding. I mean, I love it. I love it. There is more than hope for us. We are the chosen. We have to make sure that everything that's supposed to come into play comes into play. We have to do our work now. We have to do our work. The shit didn't happen just because. No. It happened because it was meant to happen. Here's our opportunity now to take control of our situation. That's it. That's it, man. You know, these people and their businesses, we must eradicate them from our communities. There's no passes. Do not falter in this, man. I'm serious, man. Do not falter in this. You sisters who go to the beauty salons, the hair shops, the nails, the toes, the eyebrows. We have to sacrifice now. We have to take advantage of this moment, this opportunity to get control of what we do and how we do it. We get control over how we spend our dollars. We must eradicate these people from our communities. And even if we're not the majority in the community, we still must find a way to deal with us in the community. No more of this stuff, man. The hair shops, the beauty salon, supply places, the nails, the toenails, the fingernails, the eyelashes, the eyelids, the Asian restaurants. Let's shut it down. Let's shut it down because our people do have establishments that we can go to and spend our dollars with our people. This is what we need to be doing. Everyone else does it. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. You know, we have to get to what that is in terms of understanding how it will serve us. We've been playing this dummy game for too long, man. Too long. People been exploiting us and taking advantage of our kindness for too long. That's a fact. It's a fact. You know, I can't be a good customer and my brother come in and you don't like him. That should not work with us. You know? And another thing we need to understand real quick is what is our motivation for this? For saying, okay, man, we're about to shut it all down. Listen, do not let it be based upon anger. Our motivation for doing this should be about the love of our people, period, point blank. Everything else it doesn't matter. It's the love of our people that should motivate us to see this thing all the way through. Not for a week from now, and okay, we cool with them again, and we gonna give them our money. No, not a month from now, not a year. Eradicate them. Close them down. This puts us in a position where we got to start dealing with each other. Get over whatever issues you think you might have with your brother or your sister. Look in the mirror. Get over those issues you may have with yourself. But this is a call to each and every one of us. Our sisters first, and our brothers as well, who frequent, eateries or whatever, wherever they are. And I have to say, and I mean this, that goes for all of the demographics. And it's not a hate thing or revenge or retribution. This is a thing of acknowledging that, okay, we don't have our shit together. We need to get our shit together. Therefore, then we must, how do we do that? We start spending money with each other. We start spending our dollars with our people. And for those of you who have businesses, establishments that are Black owned, Black ran, don't fleece the people. Don't fleece the people. You have to understand that this door is wide open now. You're going to make your money regardless. Our sisters and brothers are going to come to you now. Treat the brothers and sisters as you would want to be treated by a brother and sister who has a business that you frequent. Don't abuse this. We've been abusing one another for too long, and they've been taking advantage of our abuse of one another. That's all that is. Let's set this thing straight, man. Let's get it right. You know, we have the opportunity. It is right before us, man. You can't make this shit up, man. I've been on social media all day, and I am astounded by the determination of the black man and woman to be on board with this get down, this boycott of all things Asian. I say we take it further than that. Don't just stop at them. We boycott everybody we know that does us wrong, that exploits us, disrespects us, hates us, who is anti-black or anti-black. That's it. That's the call. And again, it's not because, we're going to, give hatred back. No, we want to do this because this is our opportunity to establish ourselves with each other. Let's take advantage of that. Let's take advantage of that. They're coming out the woodwork. They're saying, hey, no, we apologize for him. This and that. No, man. No. This thing that we see, man, being welded against us, this hatred, this anti-blackness, that's in their homes. That's in their communities. And those who are not a part of it, they know it. And yet they've done very little to, end that or to correct it. That makes them complicit. It makes them complicit. We just saw, and this is just an example. Last week, I was, researching some stuff on Karen Bass, Mayor Karen Bass, and boom, into my feed pops this article about Korean Americans saying, to hell with Karen Bass. She don't love Koreans. She this and she that. And they neglected to mention that Karen Bass had made sure that the Korean population had received $1 million for those issues in terms of homelessness that they were faced with in the Korean community, the Asian community as a whole. They only had 1,100 homeless. She gave them $1 million, but they backstabbed her, threw her under the bus, said, no, we're going to support Pratt. This is just an example of how they see us. They use us, they utilize, they exploit us to their benefit. They don't give recognition and appreciation where it should be given. And we should take that as a sign and say, okay, hey, we've done all we can do. There are many brothers and sisters in all our communities throughout this country who have probably saved Asian businesses when other brothers and sisters were probably in the right mind and say, get rid of them. They saved them. We can't do that anymore. We have to save ourselves. And this is what we should be fighting for. So again, I am astounded by the proactive, push coming from the Black community nationwide. I've looked in every state, and hey, man, especially where we are, where we have numbers, they're not playing. We're not playing. And they're feeling the effects of this, as they should. But again, we're not doing this out of anger. We need to be doing this only because we're motivated by the love of one another, making sure that we're safe, we're okay, that our children, our brothers and our sisters are not gunned down at some proprietor's business because they suspect we're all thieves. This is our time, man, and everything that is happening in the world, it is actually happening for a reason. I'm not a religious person, but I have to say, man, that there is something at work here that regards us, concerns us. All we need to do is do what we're supposed to do. We have to recondition the way we think. We have to unindoctrinate the way we've been made and led to think. We have to do this. This is all work. Because if we don't do this, if we don't make this thing work, it's wide open right now. If we don't do this work, we're done. We're done. because we're just seeing right now, oh, the Asians say it's everybody. It's not just the Asians, man. It's everybody. And again, I say not everybody in those demographics are anti-Black. However, they know it's in their communities. They know the hatred in their communities for Black people. What have they done proactively to quash that, to expose it? If they're not in their communities dealing with this, having forethought to say, wait, no, this is going to ruin not just our business, but our relationship with the Black community. If they haven't done things or acted in such a way to where they're addressing this in their communities, they're complicit in this. And based upon that, we have to deal with them all as one. That's just it. So yeah, man, eradicate all those businesses from our communities. You sisters and you brothers who would normally frequent these places, these shops and stores, these businesses. Hey, man, it's our time now. Support the people. Support the people. And you brothers and sisters, especially you entrepreneurs with LLCs, this is the opportunity for the majority of y'all to go to these corners and set up shop right in front of them businesses. Set up shop. And set it up, prepare for those sisters and brothers who ain't got the memo yet. Be prepared to show them what the get down is in order to get the support we need from our people, damn everybody else. The door is wide open. We have to step through the threshold. We have to make ourselves accountable. That's it, man. You know, anything less than that, then we're not trying to do what a lot of us are angry about, what a lot of us are angry about doing. You know what I mean? Again, if it's not about love of the people, we're doing it for the wrong reason. If it's just about anger to show somebody that, every now and then we come together to show y'all you fucked around and found out, no. This has to be, man, done because we love our people. We love each other. We love and protect our children, our women, and our men. That's what this thing's about. We got to get ready, man. We got to get ready. We living in a society that we are totally dependent on. In this society, none of what we get is provided by us. That's a bad place for us to be. We have no grocery stores. We have no community gardens. We have no water supply. We don't have a protective force to defend ourselves against anybody who would think they can do us harm. That's bad business. That's bad business. While we're in the streets tripping on one another, we got people tripping on us and we're aware of it. And yet we allow this shit to continue to happen because we're too busy tripping on one another. Let's change that. Let's change that paradigm. Let's change it. We have the opportunity to do that. So let's do it. All right. That little thing, man, I got some buku stuff for us. And this is coming from Asians' mouths as well as our own people, right? Truth to power. Truth to power. Done my research today, y'all. Lined it up, and I hope, well, my assessment is that it's lined up accordingly and is going to, enlighten and inform as much as educate each and every one of us. This is the fight, y'all. This is the fight. And based upon how we deal with this battle will determine whether or not we're going to be able to survive the war. This is just a prelude. And if we can't get it together right here, right now on this, we're going to get wiped out when the war hit. And the war is coming. They're coming down from Canada. They're coming from South Africa. They're coming from Europe. They're coming. They're coming from Israel. They are coming for us. Y'all better wake up, man. This ain't no made up shit. This ain't no made up shit. Now, for those of you who religion matters, so be it. Okay. But I tell you what, you better be damn well ready to protect and defend yourself when these people come and they're not thinking about your religion. I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, or whatever. Hebrew, Israel, that ain't gonna matter to none of them. None of that. And if you're talking about God willing, God provide you, God then provided you with enough damn sense to know it's time for you to protect yourself, because you're on a mission as well for God. You ain't gonna be able to complete that mission if you allow people to kill you and take you out without defending yourselves. We're trying to get to our purpose. And this is part of that. This journey, this what we're seeing, these wars and battles, that's a part of this, man. Getting to wherever we're supposed to be as a people. Everybody is always saying we the one, we the one, we the one. It ain't about proving it, it's about being that then. This shit is real, man. This battle is to prepare us for the war that's already actually here. A lot of us ain't got that memo yet, though. You know, we sitting up, we too comfortable. You know, we too cool with the enemy. We too cool with the enemy. There are too many alliances, man, that don't matter, that are not propped up or exist for the betterment of Black people. It's always this co-option thing. You want to co-opt some shit. No, man. No. The only alliance we should have is with us. Our only loyalties should be to us. No one else. No one else. And another fact, and this might be hard for a lot of y'all to digest. And I hear this even from those brothers who have good solutions, who are speaking truth to power. They're not acknowledging that the real issue that concerns the problems we are faced with in this country or other world over is capitalism. That's what makes all this shit, man, doable. Capitalism, the system, is what makes all this possible. We're trying to be a part of a system that gives a flying flick about any of us. In fact, the system wasn't even designed for us to be a part of it. We have to wake up, man, and be prepared to do war. We're going to do these little battles and skirmishes, but they're preparing us for the greater war. And like I said, man, it ain't just coming. It is here. It is here. Wake up, y'all. All right, man. Hey, much love, peace, and prosperity to the RGC. And again, to each and every one of you who are tapping in today for the first, second, third, fourth. Hey, man, you're more than welcome to be here. This is where we touch bases with the people. All right. Here, we can agree to disagree. Some of what I said, you may not agree with. Fine. That is not reason or cause enough to make you despise or resent me. It's just out there for discussion. It's out there so that we could get an understanding or hope. The mission is to get to an understanding that unifies us. And we're going to need unity in this get down. You got to agree. I don't have to agree, but I will acknowledge that we need each other. We need each other. Real spit. All right. There it is, man. B60N, man. He said, greetings and salutations to you, bub, and the RGC B1. Black first. Man, how that carries so much weight right now. Man, does that have meaning now or what? Does that make sense now? We've been saying this for a long time, y'all. This shit been coming down the pipes at us, and it's finally starting to gush out at us. All right? And it's gushing out in such a way, they're trying to put out the spark. They're trying to annihilate us. They're trying to dim our spark. They don't want to see this fire, this unity. They don't want that. They know better than we do what that fire means for them. It means that they get shut down. We got to see the bigger picture, man. And it's about us. We're in that bigger picture. Queen Nzinga, how's a sister? Peace and blessings to all the kings and queens in the Royal Group congregation. I trust everyone had a great weekend. B1. Appreciate that. All right. Alonzo and Queen said there's no sound. I don't know what that was. I appreciate the fact I was able to correct that. All right. All right. All right. All right. B6 say good. Alonzo say, yep. Alonzo, I can hear you now. I can hear you know, but I know what you mean now. What it do, Alonzo? Man, young Zoe back amongst us, man. Back amongst the RGC. It's good to see you back, brother. You know, whatever kept you from us, you know, the thought is that it was worth the while. You know, you might just wanted to rest, you know, just a little time off, you know, might have issues you got to deal with. That's more than understandable. Prioritize your life, no doubt. What we're talking about today is about us, our people prioritizing us. We have to be the priority. That's it, man. Good to see you up in here, though, bro. Good to see you back. You say peace to everyone in RGC, and I hope everyone is well. And Bub, you and your family. That was a great conversation. We as men could use more of that. You're speaking about Sister Yacinda, I imagine. I got a lot of texts from brothers out my community, especially saying, hey man, great goal, you know, good look. In fact, I got, hold on, a notification, a text from one of my G's, and I readily, and you know, I willingly say he's a G, good brother. But he spoke to the interview you may be talking about. He said that when he was mentoring inside of a prison, all right, they came up with the 6T process. The numeral 6, the letter T process. And it goes like this. Take time to think things through. All right. The 6T process, it fits extremely well here. And I am willing to go on, you know, limb and say, not just in terms of the conversation that I was having with Cinda, but also the situation we find ourselves in now. Let's take time to think things through so that, you know, we are well aware of our actions and how we're supposed to go about executing them. All right. Real spit. So, hey, Smiley, appreciate you for that, OG. Thank you. All right. Yeah, let's take that to heart, y'all. The 6 T's. We're going to take time to think things through. So when we move, our actions, man, they're thought out, they're well planned, you know, and they will execute whatever we decide them to do because we've taken time to think things through. All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. So I appreciate my OG, man, for that, man. Man, we need them in this mix, y'all. Real scholars, man, real revolutionaries, man, real warriors. Trust me when I tell you that. From all over the communities. You know, not just our brothers, but our sisters too. Stomp down. You know, and I go on a limb and say again, they're waiting. They're not playing either, man. You know, they've envisioned this. They saw it before a lot of us did. But there that go, man. Alonzo, he said, man, that was a great conversation. We as men could use more of that, and more of that is coming. I'm going to sit down with Sister Cinda again, maybe this weekend. And I said to her that I would like to have a discussion with her where we're talking about our sisters now. You know, we can alternate. You know, we had this discussion, and there's another episode. I'll drop that maybe Friday. I don't know. Want to see how this one do. But I have another episode with her, and we're going a little more in depth about, you know, the state of affairs concerning brothers, our plight, our direction, our growth, and our future. So I'll drop that other one as well. But I want to bring her back so we can discuss our sisters. Because again, in this circumstance, in terms of what we're facing now as a people, combating others who have a certain ideology about us, we're going to need our sisters more in this get down than the brothers, because it's our sisters who actually spend the bulk of money with these people. you know. So we're gonna need them involved. And, make no mistake about that, man. All right, so that's coming. That's coming. Chris said, man, that's a fact. Nobody likes us. This is not rockets. I mean, come on, we're not ignorant, man. Not in that respect. We're not in that respect. But a lot of us tend to be ignorant about shit we should know better, about. You know what I mean? A lot of us. But in this respect, man, we know. We know, even when they smiling in our face, they backstabbing us. We know. So yeah, man, hey, man, nobody likes us, man. And that's because, and I have to say this, a lot of us don't like us. And they see that shit. They see it. And they utilize it. They utilize our own self-hatred against us. This is why sometimes there are those who are able to get away with atrocities against us. Certain injustices and grievances we may have, because a lot of our people will side with them, protect them, and say, oh, no, he should this, that, and the third. I'm looking at the situation with the jury who found Rick Child innocent. 5 of those jurors were Black, 3 brothers and 2 sisters. And I had to think to myself immediately, were they not parents? Were they not parents? And if the defense is talking about self-defense or imminent threat, were they not parents enough to hear what was being said by the prosecution in terms of this Rick Shaw? Not only that, the history of this guy speaks for itself. That wasn't the first incident where he tried to take a Black life, probably with the same gun. What kind of parents are these, man? That's some sad shit. But we have these people in our communities. We do. We do. Even in the face of what's just, as much as unjust, they tend to serve the system or those who wrong us more than they would their own people. That's some bad business, man. Bad business. Straight up. And we as a people, we have to become accountable, man, and responsible for what it is we do, especially individually and towards one another. This shit matters. People watch this shit. They take that and utilize it against us, our own self-hate, our own anti-Blackness. We got to get over this shit. Stop this shit, man. Period, point blank. That goes to the gangs and the streets, man. Our brothers just hating and all that shit got to end, man. We're doing each other a disservice. We're helping those who want to take us down even further. Let them use us for that. We got to stop assisting these people, man, to diminish not just our numbers, but who we are, man, as a people who've been around since the beginning of humanity, mankind. All right. If human beings, we were here. We brought life to this thing, man. And it seems that we're trying to take our lives from this situation that, brought everyone here. We created all this shit. And we're trying to remove ourselves from it. Something ain't right, man. And we got to fix this shit. Here's an opportunity, straight up. The spark has been lit. The flames, man, are starting to grow. Let's fan them. Fan the flames, y'all. Push the objective. Push the objective. And this thing should go beyond the Asian community. I mean that. It should go beyond any other demographic that would belittle or besmirch us, disrespect us, want to kill us, or do us harm. It should go beyond that, the demographic. It should go towards the corporations that actually help to push this shit. All these other businesses that have really, man, become these colossal businesses on our backs and our dollars. You know, all these events that they use our people for to entertain others, all this shit, man. Yeah. I know a lot of y'all say, oh, that's some far-fetched shit there, man. That ain't gonna happen, bub. Beg to differ. It ain't just possible, but that is what the probability is. It's gonna happen. We have to shut this thing down, man, so we can get control over our lives, our existence. That's it. That's it. That's what I say to that, man. All right, let me jump in here, man. I keep jumping out. I'm gonna jump in, man. Again, Chris said that's a fact. Nobody likes us. And again, we all know that. All right. Us versus everybody, says Zoe, man. Alonzo Johnson. All right, Raymond Sco up in this. Get out, man. Peace, prosperity, you and the fam, bro. You going to say, man, peace and blessings, bub. Hope all is great with your family. Respect to the brothers and sisters in your community. Salute to the kings and queens in the Royal Group congregation. B1 does equal black first, man. Let me reciprocate that love and respect, man, to you and yours. Peace and prosperity to your family, man, and to your extended family, the Rays, from Pasadena to Inglewood to LA, man. All love and respect, man. And again, as I always say, brothers, you brothers get together, make it happen, man. Make it happen. Those businesses that exist in Pasadena that blacks can conduct and run, get it. Same go for those brothers in Inglewood, get it. Same go for those brothers in LA, get it. Go to also to my community. Just get these corners, man. Let's sell tacos. Let's sell shrimp fried rice. You know, let's do all the things that we spend. Let's sell all those things we spend our money on with other people. Let's do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. You know, that's it. Appreciate you up in here, though, Raymond Skull, man. One love, bro. Lonzo said, man, we're going to have to deal with the sellouts. We're not going to worry about them right now. For all of those of us who understand what's at stake, let's do what we're supposed to do. Let's do what we're supposed to do. All right? Let's do what we're supposed to do. Let's not allow ourselves to be distracted any further. And that's the play, y'all. It's always been the play. It's in their playbook to distract us. How to divide and rule. Yeah, of course, they got them. They got them. You know? The snooks. We call them snook. SNOOC. Reverse it. You'll see what I mean. They've been there. They've always been there. But that shouldn't be a distraction. Again, see, we know that, like we know people hate us. So we know they exist. They're there. And let's move on. So what? Let's do what we're supposed to do, man. Let nothing distract us, man, or dissuade us from doing what we have to do. And these people at work, y'all, they are at work. All right? We're going to deal with that when it's time. Let's deal with what's more pressing. That's for those of us who understand, who get it, to come together and do what we need to do, man, to get us out there. That's it. Lonzo says, man, all going to have to deal with the sellouts. We all going to have to deal with the sellouts, no doubt. No passes. And that goes for everybody, man, I think. But initially, we're talking about demographics. They get no more passes. We have to shut that shit down. All right, Antonio Anthony, I see you, bro. Love and salute right back to you. Appreciate you up in this get out, man. Peace and prosperity, you and your fam. And I like to think that the last 2 days of your lives, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with everything, including Monday. And if not, tick, man. There's still time on the clock. Make it right. Make it right. All right. Yeah. Alonzo, send out peace to Raymond Skull and his, man. All right, Soldier Denise, I see you. I'm going to give you 3 right back. You know the business. Raymond Skull said, man, the Asian people are cocky about daring us to boycott their establishments. They act as if their services are indispensable. Yeah, there's that. But there's also the fact that a lot of them think that we ain't got no oomph. We don't have no, oh my God, the word is such a common word too. It just slips from my mind right now. But that we can't come together and get shit done. You know, that we're so convinced that, you know, without them, we won't survive. And that's not the case. The majority of us understand, we know that, hey, man, we do it the hell we want to do when we want to do it. Now should be the time when we want to do what the hell we want to do. What we need to be doing, boycotting them. And I mean, again, man, to eradicate them. To eradicate them. All of them. Straight up. Move them out of our communities, man. Shut their businesses down. Send them back to where they come from, their communities or their motherland. A lot of them are immigrants. That should tell us something as well. They could come here from other countries and get the services of the government that we can't get. The loans, the considerations, the bids, whatever. Hey, man, do away with them. Send them packing. Send them packing. A lot are going to say they won't get another nickel from me. I promise you that. I hear you, man, loud and clear. No more Chinese food. Yeah, you had Chinese food, man. Shit, had a wife cook it. Had my mom cook it. And again, we probably make better Chinese food than them. Make some egg rolls, man. Some shrimp fried rice, you know what I mean? The kung pao or whatever, all that other shit, man. Peking duck. We'll hook some shit up. We don't need them. We do not need them for none of these fat foods and these, these chemical greases they cooking that shit in to begin with. Half of us don't know, half of y'all don't know I don't eat meat. Whether or not y'all eating dogs or cats, man, or human beings. Y'all not preparing that shit. That's another reason why we need to get this shit up. They're feeding, at least this is the story, the allegation. They're feeding humans to humans now. Come on, man. If that ain't enough to make you want to prepare your own meals, man, or go to somebody who gonna eat the shit too, you know what I mean? Because they're gonna eat from the same plate as you. Hey, man, I don't know what is. But shit. Hey, man, time to get this shit up. The jig is up. Lisa Moore says, Grand Rising, Brother Bub, blessings to you and the family. Much love to the kings and queens in the RGC. B1, Black first, man. That black heart, which is black love. That's all that means. Not black as in evil, man. And that's another thing, man. We ain't been them type of people to nobody, man. We ain't been like this to nobody, man. Real spit. We ain't been like this to nobody until somebody want to act this way with us. Because we don't do this to people. We don't, in our families, raise our children to despise other races, to hate them, I mean, we get families say, hey, man, don't come in on a white girl. Don't come in with no white boy. Don't bring no Asians. Don't bring no Mexicans. We get some, boom. But we do not set out to disparage people and hate people just because of who the hell they are in turn, we're talking about lineage. We want, okay, we think it's best to keep, to keep family black. That's what they think, but they pile on. Well, not just don't bring them here because they black, but they're animals. They're savages. They're lazy. They're weak. They're thieves. They're murderers. All the things they are. Projecting onto us exactly what they are. But again, we haven't been them type of people. We've embraced other communities, other demographics in our communities. It's always been that way. Even young, I couldn't understand why, but that's what it was. My mother used to talk to us about that, humanity, treating people the way you want to be treated. You know what I mean? Yeah, that only works for us. Nobody else works from that script. So again, it's just us who do these things. We're those people, We're those people who haven't done to others what they've done to us. So out of love for us, we need to get it together. We need to get it together. Let's bring this shit together, man. Again, we already know what the script is with these people. So, hey, Ain't no need to be, another thing. We should just do what we do. We ain't got to keep talking about it too much either. Let's just do it so that it becomes this thing that's normal. It becomes the norm. We'll bypass them. That would go for the Indians, 7-Elevens, anything else, man. I'm telling y'all, man, for every store we decide to boycott, there's a store ran by a black man or woman who has the same merchandise. Same shit. Cook a better meal. Only thing we may lack is a gas station, man, and a supermarket. And that which the ability to produce clean drinking water. A couple other things, but we're living in a situation where, again, we're living in deserts. Figuratively speaking, we're living in deserts. Food deserts, water deserts, energy deserts. We control none of this stuff. We have none of this of our own. So we're at the mercy of others. In that respect, we have to change that, man. Lonzo said, man, I'm eating lettuce anyway. Hey, man, get on this veggie trip, man. Chris said, man, this boycott has to happen. No more Chinese food or Chinese food. But again, all of them, because all of them have acted or carried on or has displayed the same behavior to our people. Our children are in danger from these people. Our women are in danger from these people. Y'all need to go, man. Go TikTok, go Instagram, go YouTube. Pull up them videos of these Asians attacking our women and our children. You very rarely see them attacking our men. They tried a few times. But go, man, them videos still exist. They're probably getting a lot of hits right now. They should, because we need to be mindful of how these people act toward us, our sisters and our children, especially. Nah, man, they get no quarter from us. They should. That's it. That's it. No going back, y'all. Should be no going back. Raymond Scott said, man, Bub, they change our people top price. They charge our people top price for wholesale goods, so our people have to be expensive. Yet this makes our people not want to support our people's business. That's the twist. And that's the game. True that. That's the game. And in fact, they do charge a lot. And then when you go to our people, oh, this is so high when they go to our own people. No, man. It's within the same price range. There are businesses that our people have sell the same products and at the same price. Some are actually less than same product though. So shit. Yeah, no more Asian town. We're not just one. We did, man. Come on, man. We got to get in our head. This concerns all of them, including the Indians, the 7-Elevens, the AMPMs. We got to do this, man, and do it for real, for real. And again, not doing it. We're not doing it. We're not motivated to do this because we're angry. We should be motivated to do this because we love our people, and we need them to know we love our people that much. So, we're doing it, man, to say, enough. We've had it. We've had the disrespect, man, the hate coming from you guys' communities, so much so that we're done dealing with you, period. Send them packing. Send them packing. Eradicate these businesses in our communities. Send them back to whatever Asian town they come from or country, back to their motherlands. Go on. We're done. Love this shit, man. We should love this because, again, it provides us now. We have the opportunity. Everything happens for a reason. This is our sign, man, to get up and stand up for us. Nobody else, man. If we don't take advantage of this, man, But again, I understand that this thing is happening. I've been on social media all day. I asked, man, shoot. I love my people, man. I love my people. I just want to say, y'all, let's do this. Let's be motivated to do this for the love of our people, not because we're angry and pissed off at them for doing this. They've been doing this shit. But now we want to be motivated because it's the love of the people, man, the protection of the people that's spurring us on, that's making us do this. Straight up. Lisa Moore said, man, hey, brother Alonzo, good to see you, King. I hope all is well with you and the family. Blessings to you. Alonzo said, man, are people coming together? Yes, they are, all across the country. Y'all need to go check it out. I'm in Louisiana. I was in New York. I was all over the place, and I was like elated, pleased with my people, man. Pleased. You know, I was told just recently, hey, you know what? You're going to support the year. Okay, then stop smoking cigarettes and stop drinking. So that means liquor stores is out, tobacco is out, all that shit. Okay. Okay. If we're asking sisters to stop catering these establishments, these businesses for the betterment of the people and ourselves individually, then okay, I can be on board with that. We're in a real fucking fight, man. All right? We're in a real fight, man. And I think this also involves our identity as a people. Show them, man. Show them this is the love we have for our people. We got to show them our anger. They know our anger. They know that. They don't know our love for our people. This is what we need to really show to one another and not be in, this situation to show it to them. Our motivation should be to the love of our people, man. That's it, man. And that concerns us. Nobody else. We don't care what they see, what they think. Let's do what we're supposed to do. This thing is going to, that was a huge mistake. That was a huge mistake. They FAFO'd. And there are other demographics who are going to learn this as well, who also, as a result of this, are going to get touched by this as well. And they should, rightfully so. Rightfully so. Our people are coming together, y'all. We're waking up now. Good luck. And then, like Alonzo said, all over the country. There you go. Henry Sadello say, man, salute, family, peace, and blessings. At Brother Bub, peace, soldier. I'm your warrior, and you are mine, brother. Good to see you up in here, man. Good to see you up in here. In fact, that goes for the RGC and those who are not a part of this Get Down just yet. Peace and prosperity, each and one of you. Welcome, welcome, and may this be one of these risings, man, grand as it is, man, to such a point where you guys, we're looking for more of these. We want to, when we wake up tomorrow, we want to know that we're even more involved in this situation, that it's bigger this day, tomorrow, than it was the day before. This shit is happening. And I think it needs to happen with what we call, or what I call, the ground level. Those of us ain't got nothing, but we're about everything. You know what I mean? We always the front line. This is where this should happen at first. And in time, when the brother Alonzo was just saying about our sellouts, we'll know who they are. Come on, y'all. They're going to start showing up on TV. PSAs, hey, brothers, everybody come together. The Asians love the blacks, blacks love. We're going to see that. That's coming. If it ain't already started, from the politician to the celebrity to the athlete, it's coming. It's coming. We'll know then just who they are. All right. We'll know. See you up in here, though, Henry, man. Peace and prosperity. Good to see you, bro. All right, Fat Rat Playboy. You say peace to you and RGC Big Bub. Man, tell me about it, man. What you think? What do you think? In fact, that goes to everybody in this Get Down, especially the RGC. What do y'all think about this? I want to call it a phenomenon, but I want to give it another day or two to see if it metastasizes, if it grows even larger. You know what I mean? Again, I'm excited because this to me is an indication that the people are coming into consciousness, man. We're waking up, man. Beautiful thing. But anyway, Fat Rat and RGC, what do y'all think about this, man? Is this something that will sustain itself? Would this go as far as it needs to go? Not as it should go, but I think it needs to go to this extreme where they are eradicated in terms of businesses from the communities. And as a result of such, our people have enough wherewithal to fill those voids. I don't know. What do y'all think? Again, I think this is a powerful moment. That's just me, man. Let me know what you're thinking about, man. Talk to me, Fat Rat. All right, Pope, what it do, loved one? Pope Mitchell Podcast TV is in the house. He say, what it do, bub? I watched that insightful interview of the beautiful sister that don't like calling herself a psychologist. But the professionalism and care of a Black woman about her Black men was made for UTG. My personal thing that she mentioned that aligns with how I move forwardly was the genuine hurt. If you ain't trying to understand, I don't really care because it is my pain. Anyway, I send my genuine love to the RGC kings and queens. I pray every Black family is doing good. Power is in the people. Yes, yes. Yeah, that sister, man, Zoe was talking about her a minute ago, Pope. That's Cinda, man. That's Yacinda. And I think she's very positive and strong Black woman, man, no doubt. You know, and I think I'm okay by saying this. She come from where we come from. All right. She come from where we come from, man. And these are the people that we need speaking up in the communities, you know, representing the communities, assisting and carrying the communities, you know what I mean, on their shoulders, you know what I mean? Not just our sisters, but our brothers as well. All right. I met this sister through our queen sister, man, our queen mother, man, Soldier Denise. And yeah, she was live, you know what I mean? In terms of knowing exactly what the hell she's talking about, you know what I mean? Not only that, but she was solution oriented, you know what I mean? Is one more sister I send a shout out to that I think, man, is a powerful queen mother also, and that is Miss Bonnie Tookie Williams, you know what I mean? So I think that sister's powerful also, you know, and what she talks about and how she goes about doing her business, you know, in the community, man, it's above board. So I appreciate that sister as well. But Cinda, man, is a sister that we need, and you know, we have a pact now. She will be a mainstay on this Get Out. Her, along with other sisters who you all seen before, Lil Runt, Miss Mary out of the kitchens is also one of our sisters, you know, who's in the community, you know, putting her all in the community for the community, especially the youth in the community and the sisters. Also, LaPsych, you know, our shamanic sisters, you know, who's into health and consciousness, another strong sister, man. Miss Cat, you know, all these sisters, man, have something to offer the community, be they men, women, or our children. And last but not least, again, is Soldier Denise. All right. You know, she's a catalyst in terms of bringing or presenting these sisters to this Get Down. And I have no issue with them ever, you know, being a part of not just this platform, but, you know, utilizing whatever the platform has to offer for them to dispense whatever needs to be given or handed out to the people. They got action. I don't have nothing against them in that, man. I support them 100%. That being said, let's move on. But yeah, man. Let me go back. Yeah. Hey, Poke. Yeah. Strong sister. No doubt, Poke. Strong sister. Let me find my place, man. Damn. I had to scroll back all the way, Poke, to get that Okay, boom. And there we go. Excuse me, everybody. Yeah, man. So Lonzo said, man, peace, Poke. He's sending shout out to you, Poke. That's what's up. That's what's up. Lonzo says, man, I think it's white supremacy, big bro. We got to get rid of that stupid shit. But that is the crux of it. You know, that is, see, because you got to understand how they think. And I'm not talking about those who actually prop up and make white supremacy what it is. I'm talking about those who want to assimilate into that white supremacy type, apparatus to get down. You know, for the most part, man, a lot of them don't really get the fact that they'll never be a part of that club. You know, a lot of them don't realize that they're being utilized, to in the attempt to destroy us, or keep us less than, to make sure that we are not just we're minimized. You know what I mean? So these people, these demographics, they do the work for the white supremacist apparatus. You know what I mean? That's just no other way to put that. There's no other way to put that. And dealing with them first is a necessity. We have to. And once we're done with them, then again, we have to have a plan, though. We have to have a plan. And without a plan, we have no solution. We'll find ourselves back in this position no time soon. We don't have a lot of time. When we were talking about 2030, the 2030 act, or whatever they call it, a program, they're talking about that is up and running next year. They're calling it 2030 because by then they will hope to have had full control over everything. But they're implementing this program called 2030 next year, 2027. They need all these other people to, guess what? Get us rights, to have us under control, to, they use them to pretty much control how we spend, how we act. You know what I mean? It ain't just the agents and the stores and shit. There are other factors. There are other, demographics that play a role in this. There are other people who play a role in this. There are other programs and systemic institutions that are systemically racist towards us that are involved in this shit. This is just an aspect of it. Asians and Indians and Mexicans and everybody else who take part in this shit against us. That's just, that's just like phase one or something like that, But there's a whole lot of people involved in this shit thinking that by being the way they are towards us, they're getting the approval of the white supremacist apparatus and they'll be accepted. They won't be, like as if they get rid of us, they don't have to worry about them being next. Damn, does that make any sense? How does that make sense? Wait, man, if they use me to get rid of you, then I have to have enough wherewithal to say, well, damn, he's gone. They got to bring one more because over there. So who's going to get rid of me? They're going to do me next, That's just where it works. That's how it's set up. But these people aren't seeing that shit. I don't know. Anyway, so Alonzo, so I think it's white supremacy, big bro. We got to get rid of that stupid shit. And the way to do that, I'm telling y'all, I just said this a minute ago. A lot of us won't acknowledge this. We'll talk about unity. We'll talk about resolutions and solutions to the plight that confronts us daily as Black men and women and children in this country. But we never go to the heart of why we're in this situation. And I think the heart of that is capitalism. And until we unplug from that, man, we're really going to be at their mercy. But I see that happening. I see that coming to the forefront. Are people realizing what the real issue is, what the real culprit is in regards to us being in the position we're in? Remember, capitalism is what enslaved us. Let's think about that, man. It's what was used to attempt to erase our identity. you know, and all that shit is based on capitalism, you know, all this white supremacy shit, all that shit, man. Power, power and money, man. That's it. You know, that is the crux, I think, of our problem. Capitalism. We participate in a system that doesn't want us in it. It doesn't want us in it. I mean, it utilizes us, but it doesn't want us in it to, you know, to the extent where we have 100 black billionaires in this country. Let's shit, 20. Well, we have, you know, 2,500 or better millionaires in the 7 and 8 digits, 8, 9 digits. You know what I mean? Where there are black corporations all over the country. No, man. No, there are no black media giants, no black hospitals. You know what I mean? None of that shit. No real black universities or higher learning that subsidizes and supports itself or demands grants and money from the government, you know, without strings attached to some extent. We ain't got none of that shit. You know, this shit is designed this way, man. It's not designed for us to be a part of it, man. Not at all. And little do we know, these people are finna find a way to attack the 14th Amendment. And once that happens, once they get enough individuals to vote to change the Constitution, they're going to do that. And as a result of that, they're going to strip us of our so-called citizenship. All right. All right. All right. You take my word for it. Lonzo said, man, I think if you take white supremacy out of capitalism in this country, it would work differently. No, it wouldn't. And you know, what do you mean? Break that down for me, Alonzo, because I think that see, listen, just my thought, and if you don't agree, that's fine. Capitalism, man, is this thing, man, that uses, well, it could either or. White supremacy is this thing that uses capitalism as its base. You know what I'm saying? You know, and there's no separating the two. There's no separating of the two. You're not going to take white supremacy from capitalism and capitalism continue. No, that's not going to happen, because capitalism is it's a system born by, or, you know, propped up by white supremacy. It's the governance, man, of everything and everybody, control, the power. Capitalism is attached to that. You're not going to, you know, no, there's an umbilical cord that connects them. They're like Siamese twins. You're not going to get rid of one to keep the other. It's not going to work like that. It's just not, you know. Now I was going to say, man, the 6T process is excellent. That's the first time I heard that. Today was my first time also. Take time to think things through. The 6 T's. All right. And this is something we need to be mindful of, especially coming into these battles we're going to start seeing erupt all over the place. We're going to have to use our noggins. We're going to have to use our heads, man, to combat this shit. That's the truth, man. That's the truth. Alonzo said, man, my therapist said, Alonzo don't make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. Messed me up. Slowed my thoughts down immediately. Cinda says, one of the problems with the black male or the black man and boy is that we have two emotions that we utilize over all else: anger and aggression. And those two emotions tend to prevent us from being critical thinkers. You know what I mean? Because that's our go-to, to be angry and or aggressive before we think. You know, the system in terms of how it's designed and set up, I want to say it permits or allows us, but I'll say that it permits us to be that way. You know, it's constructed in such a way that, yeah, it makes us angry. It makes us aggressive, you know, and it makes us disregard using our brains over our emotions. Most of us use anger and or aggression before anything else, including any other emotion. We are not in the habit of thinking critically, you know, thinking thoroughly, you know, or thinking as a process to solve problems. We use anger and aggression. That's a bad look. That's a bad look. And I had to admit to Cinda, oh yeah, you're right. You know, that was something I had to learn. That was something I had to learn. One of the ways, or what brought me to that was conflict resolution, anger management, those classes I had to take to get out from under a life sentence, to parole, you know. And that is the truth, man, that we utilize anger and aggression before anything else, man. And we see this being played out in our communities, especially not just with our youth, but with brothers, period. We go from 0 to 60, man, in a second. In a second. And especially against one another. Quick millimeter of a second. We tripping on one another. Angry, full of anger and or aggression. You got to deal with that shit. But Cinda, man, is very knowledgeable, educated, you know, an informed woman, black woman. I appreciate sitting down with her, man. And she probably cut me a break. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I enjoyed the conversation so much so that, like I said, man, my invitation to her is always open. It's extended. In fact, it's not even an invitation anymore. I would like I would like for her to know that anytime you could have the inkling, the thought, I want to go on Under the Groove. I got something to say. I told her, all you got to do is call me and let me know when you're coming. Because brothers need to hear you as well as sisters. So yeah, man, your therapist might be on to something there. I don't know. You said my therapist said, Alonzo, don't make permanent decisions based on temporary. Oh, my therapist said, Alonzo, don't make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. And that messed you up, slowed your thoughts down immediately. All right. B60 said, I like that saying. You need to put that on a t-shirt. Which one, B60? The 6Ts? I don't know. Which one, brother? Folks said, Bub, okay, I feel you're genuine with what you try to extend to your black brothers and sisters. And it is that push that cracks a wall that a little light is able to shine through. And then this ability, man, to shout at the wall, to create, you know, fissures and cracks in it, man. We all have, man, this ability. You know, I'm no exception. You know what I mean? In our RGC, man, group, man, there are so many you brothers, you included, Pope, who have that, man. And I'm pretty sure you know it, you know. It's just that we just have to do more of that. And it's something I'm striving towards. You know, I want to do more of it, you know. Like Fat Rat say, man, let's get beyond the chatterbox shit. You know, how we acting, how we moving, how we grooving, how we gonna roll through this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening. You know, that's what's happening. And that's what's on my agenda. How do I get involved in such a way to where, hey man, hey man, Cinda say, hey man, you know, a lot of us, we wear masks, and the mask is just, you know, we talking the talk, but we not walking the walk, you know. Walk the walk. That's important. I think that's significant, man. You know, I want to do this. I'm fuck a mask, you know. Be me about this, man, but do what needs to be done rather than just saying what needs to be said. You know, I think that's for all of us. You know, we all have, I think, an obligation to do that. But appreciate you nonetheless, bro. Raymond Skull said, man, remember in 1992, the riots. As I think about it, we didn't destroy our own communities, but actually we're destroying Asian businesses that we patronize, decimate people economically. Yeah. And that's a fact. And that's why a lot of them armed themselves and they called them, I think it was some called rooftop agents or something, where they were on top of their roofs of their businesses, taking shots at brothers on the streets. If they even thought they were coming in the parking lot, they was letting off, you know? Yeah, I remember that though. Yeah, their businesses have been decimated, you know, a lot of them. And then see, that should be another indication that even back then, blacks knew the hatred Asians had for us. All they were concerned about, as far as we go, was our dollars. They didn't give a flying flick about us as people, as human beings. They just, you know, it was the money that mattered to them. They didn't care about us, man. You know? Yeah, I remember that shit. Queen Nzinga said, yeah, I'm going to have to change some things. I will have to correct myself when it comes to buying certain things. And I imagine that would go for a lot of our sisters, you know? And again, it's just, you know, making that commitment, you know, and that goes for all of us in terms of those things we do that we know are not beneficial, let alone to the community, but to ourselves. But those things that would help and assist others to continue to treat us in the way that they do, you know, need to be, you know, done away with. You know, we need to get to the point where the same way we're acting when it comes to spending our dollars with those people, we want to have that same energy motivation to do that with our people instead of those people. So Queen Nzinga say she's in. All right, that's a good look. Yeah, Chris, you ain't never lie. High sodium meals they giving us. Yeah, and again, a lot of that oil and shit. You know, they use a lot of oils too, man. You know, a lot of super rich sauces with sugars and shit. You know, they say, I don't know, man. And shrimp fried rice. I never like that. I don't even like rice, man. My wife would tell you, I hate rice. I don't hate it, but I don't eat a lot of rice. You know, when we have like our red beans, our kidney bean rice, hey man, I might get a spoonful. Don't give me no more. I don't like all that shit. You know what I mean? But it made me think about shrimp fried rice. My critique of that, or my criticism, has always been, where the shrimp at in that shit, man? You know, and then I get, you know, every third spoonful, I get a piece of an egg or something. Nah, fuck that, man. And we getting played, man. Shit. We getting played. We are being played. All right. Yeah, man. So you're going to say, Chris, they're giving us high blood pressure and insulin resistant foods, and they don't even eat it. I can honestly say I haven't seen them. I've never seen one of them eat their own food. You know, I don't. What you could do though, and I've done this before. I've watched them eat inside their homes. You know, they got this one where it's funny. You know, they're cheating each other out of something. When one ain't looking, they'll take a boiled egg and hide it. You know, they're stealing from each other, right? Or they'll take, you know, big ass piece of meat and, you know, a piece of duck and hide it, you know. But none of those meals I've seen them eat look like the meals I've seen them serve in our communities. None of them. And that even goes for a lot of their vegetables, you know, because they eat a lot of vegetables over there. None of that shit looks the same. It don't look like it's prepared the same way. Yeah, be real careful of these people, man. They're giving us high blood pressure and insulin resistant foods, and they don't even eat it. Soldier Denise says, man, we forget that I can put on a skin suit and look like Bernie Mac. Huh? So just because the jurors look black doesn't mean that they were. We ate dealing We ain't dealing with deep-rooted hatred for all who are melanated, or we are dealing with deep-rooted hatred for all who are melanated. And yeah, I haven't missed the fact, Sister Right, just because it got black skin don't make him black, that saying they use, uh, black skin don't make you kin, you know. And for whatever reason, though, I couldn't get them people off my mind, whoever they were, those 5 black jurors, and they voted unanimously. It was a unanimous vote that he was not guilty. And I said, who are these 5 people? Who are they, man? Were they parents? And listening to the prosecution, how was it then that they didn't say, whoa, this is murder. This wasn't no imminent threat. Now, how shit twists and turn. Stories, they become inflated. They're saying now that they planted the gun on him and all this old shit. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, they say he never pulled the gun. Just that the son said he saw a gun. The police said a gun was never brandished. How do you shoot a kid in the back and justify that as, a rightful murder, a righteous killing? It makes no sense to me. How are you in imminent danger or threat? How's your life in threat or in danger of an individual running from you? Not running, pointing a gun at you, but just trying to flee. How is someone fleeing an imminent threat to one's life? I don't get it, man. And how could them 5 black people do that? Yeah, they must have had on those latex masks. They had to have been, in far-fetched as it may seem, that shit exists too, right? They just had a guy on national TV, CNN, who put one on, and they would have thought it was him until they, the collar of the thing showed. But this shit exists too. We don't know, man. These people putting on these black masks, coming in our communities, man, doing shit. We don't know. We don't know. They can get a mask look just like Bernie Mac, like Sister Soldier Janice said, look like me or you, and go and commit a crime and have your ass gaffled up for something you know dang well you didn't do. They could have put 5 white jurors with 5 other white jurors on there with black masks on. Let's call it with it, blackface. I don't know shit. Good point though, Soldier. B6 says, stepmother said, don't bring her home if she can't use my comb. We again, our people though, and I gotta admit this, man. We would, what's the word for it, man? We would welcome other cultures and demographics. We in the community, we did. And then behind closed door, we say, you see that, yeah. But we never outwardly, no straight up, man, in your face racism or treat you bad just because we could. You know what I'm saying? We never did that, man. That I tell you, I come from my mom was not like that, but she preached, blackness. That's what she did do. But at the same time, she say, men, don't treat people wrong. I got that growing up, So yeah, man. We never brought no white people home and shit like that. You know what I mean? Introduced them to moms and shit like that, Not our side of the family. I'm thinking long and hard. Yeah, we never done that. Folks say, man, hold on. Henry says, oh, wait a minute. There's more to it. Raymond Skoll said it's funny that all of this black hate is coming to the forefront. People can't even logically explain why they hate us. I know why white T dudes do, but everyone else is on the bandwagon. Is there more to that, Roscoe? Or go on? Okay, no. Yeah, man, ain't that something, right? And yet, if we think about this long and hard enough, um, it's not really just coming to the forefront. Again, this shit has been simmering. It's been festering, man, for some time now, actually, you know, for some time. And not only that, but a lot of them people are emboldened, or they feel entitled. They feel like they're actually a part of the white supremacist program or system. And this is why they act the way they act. They're emboldened to act this way, man. So this thing, it was going to happen. If it wasn't Rick Chow, it was going to be someone else. That's the reality. And it didn't have to necessarily be, a Chinese dude or Korean, you know what I mean, or Vietnamese. It could have been somebody from India. It could, you know what I mean? It's, and again, I don't know. I don't want to put nothing in the atmosphere, but my point is this, man. Yeah, we're in that space and time now where we must wake up, become conscious. We must first and foremost not want to, but do. We must protect our children and our women, man, by any means. By any means. And if a boycott is the first step to where we eradicate these people from our communities by boycotting their business, putting them out of business in our communities, that should be the first step. Let's go that route. All right. That's what should be done. I support that. Henry Sadello said, look, man, there's a black-owned gas station in North Long Beach on 68th Street and Long Beach Boulevard. Foundation black-owned. All right, for you brothers and sisters who are in Long Beach or near Long Beach, there you go. And we need to get that out there. There you go. There's boom. Now we got some gas. you know. Now we got gas. Post said, man, I believe in strikes. I see it all the time. But the difference is that I see people get something from it. And what needs to be done are votes. Our votes until we get everything that would give us respect and a bright future. I won't be eating egg soups for a while, even if I got to go back to the beans and hot dogs. Yeah, that would go for the top ramens and all that. I think those are Asian products. So we're talking about boycotting just these businesses and the storefront type businesses, places where they sell beauty products to our sisters, hair to our sisters, where they cater to doing, pedicures and manicures, things of that nature. But there are also products that they sell in stores, chain stores, name brand stores that also should be boycotted straight up, straight up. Yeah, man. Mary Anderson said FBA watching from deep East Texas. Okay, we want to welcome the FBAs in the house, right along with the rest of us. It's Black American, however we label ourselves. The fact of the matter is that we are in this together, no matter what we call ourselves. These people, they don't care if we FBA, Black American, African American, or shit, indigenous, native, whatever. They don't give a flying flick about none of that because they see us all as one and the same. As one and the same. All right. That's truth to power, man. They don't care about none of that. You spend your money and get the hell out. They'll follow you around. They're discourteous, very rude. And again, man, they are abusers, not just of our children. They don't just take the lives of our children. They abuse our women at every turn. Any opportunity, one of them think they can get away with some shit like that. That's what they do. That's exactly what they do. So yeah, FBIs, you're welcome to be here, but let's get one thing straight. We black to them. They don't, we black and we ninjas. They don't care about the other stuff, They don't. So more than welcome though, Mary Anderson. Good, you are here, part of this get down. We call it touching bases with the people. This is Under the Groove podcast. And hey, enjoy, all right? Partake. Come on up in here some more. We appreciate it. Henry said, man, Alonzo, he's sending out peace, man. Lisa Moore said, man, I've been boycotting for the last 2 weeks, and it feels damn good. Ain't that something? But again, y'all, let's do this. Let the motivation as to why we're doing this be about love for our people and not angry because the Asian guy got off with killing another one of our youth. Let this be because we have love. We're motivated by the love of our people. And I'm telling you, when we think like that and we deal with it, we live in that, we start making changes, not just about ourselves, but our people in the community. You know, this thing begins to be something, becomes something that's real, you know? So yeah, man, it ain't about anger. We're not motivated by anger that this Buddha head then got off, you know, another one then got off with killing one of our people, one of our children. No, man, we're motivated by the love of our children, the protection of our women, our family. That's why we're pushing. That's why this is what we should understand it like that. Don't let anger be the reason. Let love for us be the reason. That's it. And Lisa Moore says she's been doing it for 2 weeks. Damn, I'm late. Well, actually, I don't. I've always had an issue. And a lot of you can call it what you want, but I always saw them differently. I always knew they looked at us differently. They treated us differently. I've never been, you know, overly cordial. You know, I've been respectful, but, you know, I don't skin and grin with them. You know, oh, no conversation. It's not necessary, you know, but I've never trusted them. I knew why they were there. I knew that they didn't love and respect us. I've always known that. I can go way back, man. I can go way back. You know, I told you guys back in the day, there used to be this Chinese market right next to True Gospel Baptist Church. And them bastards would stand at the door and watch every kid that came in there. You know, never had no issues with them right there. There was another one on 83rd and Hoover. Was there for a very, very long time. And in 92, it got burned down. Same thing, you know. I don't recall them ever disrespecting. Well, I think that they knew they couldn't do that there. You know, not right there. No, they would have been in the world of hurt, you know, in a world of hurt, you know, just but that's one of them areas, yeah, man, hey, we get you. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't recall ever hearing anything like that. Not that it didn't, I just never heard of it. Been over there my whole life. So yeah. For the last 2 weeks, Lisa Moore been getting it in. Boy, some of you sisters, you queens gonna have to catch up now. That's some catching up to do there. Go on then. Quinn and Zinga said, Lisa Moore, I need to get on your page with the boycott. I'm about to get committed. One. All right then. Poke Mitchell said, Bub, she made me want to sit down with my people, in which I tried, but maybe I need to try harder. It is difficult because my change only requires support in the right way that is deserved. Continue. We all working stuff out, Bub, the best we can. I know I do. Great point. So my discussion with her led me to contacting, you know, my family member, and then also reaching out to another one of my family members, and, you know, hey, you know, not with demands, not with a transaction in place in terms of just speaking, say, hey, how are you, man? I miss you, you know, just that, that. And then telling myself, okay, that's just the first step. I have to continue this because this is what I desire. I desire a relationship with my family. So whether or not they respond or respond how I think they should, doesn't matter. I have to stay on course. I have to continue to get at them in such a way to where, and man, I chip away at whatever wall they built up because of how I was. You know what I mean? So if that's my doing, then yeah, it should be my doing and helping to bring that wall down. And that's what I'm on, bro. That's what I'm on. So again, I appreciate Cindy in a lot of respects, especially in that respect. You know, shine the light. She shone the light, you know, for me to see exactly my role as a man, you know what I mean? As a father in this situation. So yeah, appreciate her for that. Lisa Moore said, Queen and Zinga, man, that's right, sister. There y'all go. There y'all go. Lonzo said, Bub, we could be in charge of the country and everything would be cool. You take out white supremacy, things look different, bro, I think. But see, and again, see, white supremacy is entrenched just as deeply rooted as capitalism. You know, that's how deep that shit is. And I don't think that you can extract one from the other and have a better system. You gotta take capitalism and then white supremacy ain't white supremacists no more. They're gonna be white supremacists regardless. You cannot take, you know what I mean, a white supremacy away, and capitalism don't still sponsor, support white supremacy. It does. Capitalism is what keeps them in power all over the world. You just not, there's too much at play here, man. Not just the governments, the prime ministers and presidents and all that shit. We're talking about, man, corporations, man, that actually really run everything with family lines that are old, and their mission is to make sure for the next 1,000 years it stay that way. We got other demographics of non-white people supporting the white supremacist construct as well as capitalism. I mean, in with both feet. And they would protest right along with the whites if you tried to eradicate or extract one from the other. They worship these people. They worship the system that these people have, ran for a couple of, 1,000 years or more. Real spit. The reality, I think, for us, our people, is to have our own system. Separate from theirs. See, we don't want to even so when we were segregated, dealing with the black codes, Jim Crow, all that shit, we thrive, man, in spite of white supremacy and capitalism going hand in hand, right? We thrive. You know why? Because they didn't fuck with us. Because they didn't think we were capable. We still use that system. That system worked for us. And yet white supremacy still existed to where we couldn't get far in that system. They go hand in hand. All the Black Wall Streets all over this country, man, is an example of them going hand in hand. Real shit. You know what I mean? You can't separate one from the other and think that you're going to overcome. The only way to do that is to separate, period, to unplug from that system. So now what's the solution? How do we do that? We're so used to capitalism. We're so used to whites running everything. Most of us can't fathom existing without them running anything, man. That's part of the problem. I think that's the majority of the problem. A lot of us are in fear of living in a system that they don't control. We're so used to it. We're that indoctrinated, that conditioned to think that, oh man, if they never did this, hey, we're not gonna. No, man. That's the lie that we've been told and we believe, we trust. And I get it. Okay, then what? If we're not going to be capitalist, if we're not going to utilize the capitalist system, then how do we get shit done? How do we build our institutions? How do we do this and that? Right? I get it. But I also get that, man, where there's a will, there's a way. We just tend to think that capitalism is the way to go because that's all we know. No one's tried anything else. They've dismantled the communist system, the socialist system, the Marxist system. Capitalism did that. Not politics. Not politics. Capitalism did that. I think that there are enough people in the world who are willing and ready to separate from capitalism to create another system, monetary system, or a system of exchange, rather than have to continue, indulging or dealing with capitalism. I just think that. And those people are people of color. They're people are trying this, man, but capitalists or the system, as well as white supremacy, is so entrenched that when they get wind of a Gaddafi trying to start a new monetary system based upon gold, we got to kill him. That's how they stop that. And you got to know that system would have been all the rave, right? Man, Russia would have been involved, China, man, Africa, South America, man. It's not that ideas do not exist in terms of, dismantling, destroying capitalism. It's the fact that there's a greater determination to keep capitalism going, as opposed to a greater determination to create another system that would not oppose capitalism, but be rid of it altogether. That's the difference. White supremacy has this mindset that, hey, man, by any cost, by any means, capitalism must remain the number one monetary system, the only system in the world. Anyone else trying to thwart that, dismantle it, or make it second must be done away with. We've seen that. We've seen it. So-called bad leaders who got missile, nuclear armaments and warheads won't even attempt it, because mugs in their own government will kill them to keep capitalism alive. Think about that, man. You got a couple of countries now talking about it. That's crazy, man. That is just talk. No one is willing to go out on a limb or put their life on the line to change something that is detrimental, that steps on the necks and backs, lives of people. It's some crazy shit. I don't know, man. You can't separate them, though. That's for damn sure. You say you could change the country and everything would be cool if you take out white supremacy. I'm telling you, that's not going to work. Because even capitalism now as a system, which, you ain't even got to have the face of white supremacy labeled or attached to capitalism. You know what I mean? And white supremacy would still exist, as an undercurrent to that shit. You know what I mean? Because like I said, man, most of the power is wielded by white supremacy. Capitalism is, listen, in and of itself, man, it would create white supremacy. It would create some other supremacy. Let's say if it got rid of white supremacy, it would create some other supremacy. Facts. It's the system. It's the system that props up this behavior, man. The atrocities we see in the world, the wars, enslavement of people, the rich trodden on the poor. It's the system. I'm just saying, man, that's attached to white supremacy. I don't think you can be able to detach them. That's just me. All right. Kufu in the house, y'all. He said, peace and blessings to RGC. Word of the day is magnanimity. Magnanimity. All right. Great word. Use it a time or two. Magnanimity is the noble greatness of spirit that enables a person to face adversity with calm resilience, and treat others with extraordinary generosity or forgiveness. But this ain't that time, y'all, to be magnanimous. Nah, good word, great word, but it don't fit the moment. It don't fit the moment. We're not going to be extraordinary in our generosity towards forgiving those who do us harm, take the lives of our children, disrespect and assault our women. We're not going to be magnanimous, or we're not going to exhibit magnanimity to those who commit these atrocities, man, or these grievances, these injustices. But great word, nonetheless. Great word. All right. You gave a sentence also, Rakufu. The defeated champion showed true magnanimity by being the first to congratulate and praise his opponent. Henry Sedella said, look, man, word up to those sisters. They are very important for knowledge and contributing beneficial information and mental food for the soul. Yes, all of them. I'll say, where the shrimp at? And man's like, yeah, man, y'all ever had shrimp fried rice? They call it shrimp fried rice. And I bet you before you're done eating that, you didn't get no more than 4 shrimp. 5 in that big old plate of shrimp fried rice. And when they cook it up, the batch, they might put 5 eggs in this big ass mound of rice. Man, shit, get out here. I don't like this shit. But anyway. Rakufu said, man, concrete fractures under weighted dreams where systems script the margins of our names, a daily chess match on a board of extremes, trading the asphalt for corporate games. All right. From sirens piercing through the city night to boardroom silence where the air is cold, we wear the armor of a different fight. In tailored suits, the same resilience told. We climb the high rise from heavy We climb the high rises from heavy pavement stone, breaking the glass but keeping scars intact. Yet in the penthouse, standing on our own, the pressure shifts but never leaves the track. The code changes, but the shadows stay. New halls, same walls, the heavy price of space. We won the pavement, but the price we paid, fighting still to hold our rightful place. All right, Rakufu, appreciate you up in here with that poetry, bro. Folks said it's a trip how they be selling us shit based on the way they want us to eat, look, and sound, spend money. Our natural being is so powerful that they have to always create ways to take away from it. Jim Brown say, what up, bud? What up with you, Jim Brown? Good to see you back. All right. Peace and prosperity. You and the fam, bro. Good to see you up in here. Yeah. You already know the deal, man. This is Undergroove Podcast, man, where we agree to disagree, but we keep respectful, full of love, man. That's it. That's all. Don't care where you're from. That don't matter here. Here, brothers and sisters, kings and queens, gods and goddesses. That's it. That's all. Oh, shit. I didn't know it was this late. I had man, a gang of clips. I got one clip I want to show. Y'all tripping off that shrimp fried rice one, huh? All right, like I say, good to see you up in here, Jim Brown. Henry said, man, I was raised to be prejudiced. We wouldn't have Mexicans and Samoans, Asians, and even white boy Crips and Bloods, Pyrus. We understand that, right? Yeah, that was a hard-pressed move to pull off when we were coming up. To have somebody outside of the get down in the get down, you know what I mean? And they had to be, hey, let's tell the truth, though. If they made it back in the day, man, when this shit, when we first started, and we first started in like 77, you was a bad mother. You know what I'm saying? Real spit. Be it a white boy, white girl, Mexican dude, Mexican girl. You was a bad, it don't matter. You was a bad piece. You know, you was worth your weight. Yeah. And honestly speaking, we were somewhat prejudiced and biased as far as that goes. You know what I mean? To some extent. Real spec. Here we go on to say, man, ask them for extra shrimp, and they add 3 more shrimp, LOL, and charge you for it. Shit. Extra shrimp, man. I want to drop at least one clip, y'all. Let me see something. And now this is, I don't want to play this one. I don't want to, because I'm not trying to actually promote what they're saying about us. We already know what they say about us. I would rather indulge us in, okay, what we are doing, not what we're going to say or not what we're going to do, but what we're doing, man. So, you know, I had a clip where this profanity laden statement was made by this Asian lady. And she went in word the whole 9. You know what I mean? Oh, I mean, we were everything under the sun, you know. So I'm not going to play that. I'm not going to get at the time of the day. Let me see. What about this one? Okay, I want to play this one, and then we're going to call it. All right? I'm going to play this one right here. And I think this is food for thought more than anything else. Let me see. Damn, oh yeah, I just moved it. Okay, so I'm gonna play this one right quick, y'all. We ain't got a whole lot of time. Okay, which one is that? I don't know about that one. About that one? No, certainly not that one. Because this is a sister speaking, and I want to see what she got to say. So, y'all, let's check this one out right here. Hold on. Here we go. All right.
You want to know why black boycotts fail? Every month I...
What the hell? No, I'm not getting... Oh, wait a minute.
Complex to my...
No.
Black-owned dog groomer, and on every single corner I see Hispanic entrepreneurs and hustlers selling food, beverages, household supplies, beauty supplies, honey, every single corner exactly where their community lives. That is convenience, and that is what we are missing. Black people are 14% of the population, but we own just 2% of businesses that can employ at least one person. Now here's what we do. For those who cannot afford a brick and mortar, honey, we gotta take it to the corner. We have boycotted before. Latasha Harlins, George Floyd, honey. We buy black and that gets loud, and then we quiet down for the comfort of convenience. We need to be like the water boys on the corner. Buy your products wholesale, honey, and go ahead and sell retail, babe. Make your money. Talk to your apartment manager. Pay to rent the corner, honey. Get the proper permits, honey, and keep all the profit. A tent and a folding table is all you need, baby. No brick, no mortar. I led a movement called My Black Receipt. Where over 17 days, we had thousands of people spend $5 million in Black-owned businesses in response to the protest. The movement was unsustainable because convenience beat out the commitment to buy black on a...
It was unsustainable because convenience, that's our problem. We want to be, we want convenience. Oh, well, the Asian's right next door. So I'm going to sneak over there and spend my money rather than go 2 blocks over to a black-owned business and spend that money. This is what we fail at. We don't stay committed to the process. You know? We want convenience. For what, man? We haven't been offered any real convenience in this country from no one, but we want convenience.
Regular and consistent basis. This video is getting too long, but I have to say this. I remember this girl on TikTok, licensed lash tech, couldn't afford brick and mortar, was doing lashes in the front seat of her car. That's how dogged we need to get. Otherwise, this boycott is temporary. And do you want to know why?
Hello. So again, we got to take the necessary steps to get this thing done, man. We got to be all in. We got to be more than determined. You know, we got to be more than determined. I have one more, and I thought it was. I ain't gonna play that one. No, that's too long. And what's this? Oh, yeah. Well, no, let's stick to the boycott. All right. We're going to stick to the boycott. Right here. We're going to play this one, and then we're going to call it a night, everybody. Come on, man. Stop messing with me. Man, fuck. I don't know what this is, y'all. Well, we won't play you then. I'm not playing her. I'm playing you. 1 second. You know, one in mind. And as it comes time to take accountability. All right, let's try this guy. One second. Time to take accountability. I'm gonna try one more time. I don't know, man. All right.
The Black community because of a recent video I did about Jasmine Crockett. I've been waiting on this one. What this is called is selective morality. Let's ignore the fact that ain't no white robes running through our neighborhoods, just black folks terrorizing other black folks.
Check this out, though.
Let's ignore the fact that ain't no white supremacists shooting up our blocks. It's us. Let's ignore the fact that we make music glorifying our own destruction and then cry when the streets match the lyrics. We love screaming black unity, but will rob, jump, scam, and kill our own people with no hesitation whatsoever. Preaching we gotta stick together while setting up your own brothers and snaking your own sisters. Love blaming the society for why our neighborhoods look like war zones while cheering for the very culture that keeps them that way. Talking about black pride while rapping about murdering each other, turning women into baby mamas, and making it seem like being broke, violent, and ignorant is a personality trait. Everybody want to scream support black businesses, but will run to Gucci before you ever spend $1 with your own people while looking for a hookup at the same time. We want to whine about gentrification, but won't invest in your own damn community. Instead, trash it, and then cries when somebody else moves in and builds it up. And then the worst part, y'all expect every black person to fall in line with this ideology. Because how dare a black person think for themselves, right? How dare someone not subscribe to this self-inflicted victimhood bullshit? Y'all want unity? Start by looking in the mirror. The truth is, black folks ain't even for black folks. The biggest threat to black people ain't Trump. It ain't the police. It ain't white people. It's us. It's our own self-hatred, our own refusal to hold each other accountable, and our own addiction to playing the goddamn victim while glorifying the very that holds us back. Who's out here shooting up black neighborhoods? Not Trump. Who's rapping about killing each other, robbing each other, and treating our women like trash? Not Trump. Who's making our own communities unlivable, unsafe, and uninvestable, then crying about it and wondering why they won't build up our neighborhoods? Not Trump. Who raised us to fear and hate each other more than any racist system ever could? We did that to ourselves. But now let's keep blaming everything on racism while we kill, rob, and destroy our own at a rate the Klan could only dream of. Let's keep pretending every black person is on the same team when half of y'all wouldn't even piss on another black person if they were on fire. Y'all would film it and yell World Star. Let's keep screaming about oppression while cheering on the destruction of our own communities. Y'all don't want justice. Y'all don't want unity. Y'all don't want progress. You just want an excuse to stay in the same cycle while blaming everyone else but yourselves. So now I'm not turning my back on black folks. I'm turning my back on the bull.
Listen, as
All right. And we got some brothers and sisters who think like that. A lot of them think that this is more bullshit, that we ain't serious. You know, because as we go along talking about boycotting, whatever we're going to boycott, Asians, whoever else, we're going to still have our brothers and sisters in the streets jacking each other, shooting each other, killing each other, hating themselves and each other. That's the problem. I hear him loud and clear. And I say as well, there's no success in what we're doing if we don't deal with these issues that we have. See, this is us. I started out saying this. All this shit exists because we don't have our shit together. We don't know how to unify. We don't know how to come together. We don't know how to support one another. We hate each other. Why we expect anybody to treat us any different, man, or any better when this is how we treat ourselves? All right. But again, this is a wake-up call. I think shit happens for a reason. What's the reason? Why does this occur? This is our opportunity to see what our flaws are and to correct ourselves, to bring ourselves, man, in alignment with ourselves and each other. I think that's the whole purpose of this. And if we are able to pull this off, hey, man, hey, man, we're well on our way, But again, we want to trip on the Chinese, the Korean, the Vietnamese, the Indian, or whoever else that mistreats us. But at the same time, we're not paying attention to what we're doing to ourselves, or where they might even get the impression that it's cool to do this shit to us. They see us doing this to us. Again, we're only 12, 13% of the population, but everything we do wrong is augmented, is put on, the television more than any other demographic. It's a reason for all this shit. And the more we see ourselves acting damn fools, the more we act damn fools. Again, though, there has to be accountability. We started out talking about this today. Accountability and responsibility. We want to change the paradigm of the situation. We want to change our plight. We have to change ourselves first. Black first means that we have to be first. We have to treat blacks a certain way first if we expect to, set any rules or examples of how we, want to be treated or carry ourselves. We have to do this first for ourselves. And we don't do it to show other people that we can do this. No, man, this is what we're supposed to be doing. But were we to do that, what choice would they have but to do that? They would know off the rip, oh, man, you fuck with them, it's a wrap. Because they love each other. They support one another. They protect their people. They don't hurt themselves, This is what we're up against, man. This thing going to be successful. We got to start really thinking in terms of, okay, man, how we're supposed to go about doing this and why we are doing this. Again, the motivation shouldn't be because we're angry. The motivation should be because we love us. That's a hard sell. That's a hard sell because we all know a lot of us don't love us. A lot of us don't love ourselves. So, in order for this thing to work, we got to hurry up and do some quick soul searching. We have to get to the point where we accept love for self. In order for this thing to work, we got to have that. We say that every time we end one of these live streams. Love yourself first. It's the only way, man. And if you don't love yourself, you can't love the brother who looks just like you. You're not going to love him because you don't love yourself. You're going to do him harm like you do yourself. This is what we need to understand, man. For this thing to work, it got to be above board. It has to be above board. All right. I'm going to end on that, man, because it's late and I already got my cue that it was time to quit about 15 minutes ago. Yeah, man. Hey, listen, people. The power is in the people. The power to do what we're supposed to do, we already possess that. We don't gain power from boycotting Asians. We already had that. We already got that. We possess that. And again, this is done, or it should be done. This is what we have to accept. Not because we're angry, man, but because we love our people. But the only way to exemplify that, to show that, portray that truth, is if we love ourselves. You can't love, man, Cyrus George Floyd, Mill Rice, or any of our brothers and sisters who have lost their lives, man, not just to other people, but by our own hand. We listen, man, we have to love ourselves, man, in order to love our brothers and sisters and make sure that we support them and protect them, you know, mind, body, and soul from anything that can harm them. That would include ourselves. You cannot love me, man, if you don't love yourself. Real spec. I cannot love our queen, man, our sister, our goddess, if I do not love myself. That's where this shit should, that's the base of this shit. That's the foundation of all this shit. Love for self so that we can represent love for each other, man. Without that, you know, brother got a point, sister got a point. You know, we're not going to win. When we love ourselves, man, we take care of ourselves. You know, when we love ourselves, we love each other. We love those who look just like us. And sometimes that love might even extend to people who don't look like us. But when we take care of ourselves also, we take care of each other. That's all I'm saying. All right. I've said that. I'm in with power is in the people, y'all. For real. Power is in the people, man. All right. This is our moment. I think this is our moment. And I hey man, I send that energy, them thoughts out to the ancestors, man, that we don't squander this. We don't squander this because there's a lot, man, that's coming at us. And we're going to need to have it together, man, in order to, like I said, to combat this shit, to be at war with it so that we are not defeated. All right. That being said, man, hey, you are, you have been, and you will be under the groove. One love, man. Starting with self. Peace. Powers in the people.
Count the names, count the bodies, count the victory. Cullen Hughes, Hurst, and writing future history. From the Apollo to the Borough to the Sphere. Where the echo of those Harlem nights still ringing clear. So when they ask what happened in those tenement flats, between the spirituals and where consciousness is at, tell them we transform suffering to scholarship and song. Tell them we've been telling you we're brilliant all along. The Renaissance will prologue every decade since the sequel. Every black child born's continuation of the people who survived the Middle Passage, survived the Jim Crow laws and built magnificence from nothing but their vision and their flaws. That's in the sergeant. This is once a less than Atlas, Hatches, and Mercedes. Please don't you, I can't stop us. Power sensitive plot to the applause for polls. Need your data, tropes, and counsel any problem when the wedges want to build the season. Bait, I don't get the pause. It's just the raising up the times. Plead the markets off the main. Make it honor fans. Turn the neck and love the durn. Suffer like a kesha. You were grown to preaching up on side as each alone. Bitch on the shit and untrue seeing vets. Someone the very inch on Gary Land. Be hell in heaven, you see what the Bonavir. If wait, talking for the marker, make the key to pull the trumpets on the boards to the singer. Land is carried open, slowly keep us looking on my mother. Break it, generous, he more than he and let the peasant be. It's every time we keep a spawn.